Welcome back, everybody. I just thought I'd share one of my new projects of what I've been up to lately. Um, Probably 20 years ago, back in the day when we used to get a lot of AOL discs in the mail, I had this idea: what could I do with all these discs, all these CDs? I thought, well, I want to make a Tesla pump. I sketched up kind of what I called the aquatic thrust system, which would basically be kind of a drive or a thrust motor for or pump for like a small watercraft. Of course, I never quite got around to making it. And then maybe 10 years ago or so, I did get around to trying to start making the main drive piece with CDs, but never went beyond drilling holes and kind of starting that. By then you couldn't get AOL discs anymore. But now that I have a 3D printer, thought, why don't I actually make the thing I designed 20 years ago or so? So, basically, this is the heart of it. It'll spin, and the thrust will be guided out there. This is the first version, first prototype. I think in my original sketches I had kind of a curve going on there, and I'm going to have to add that in. I did already do a test run with this, which I'll show you in a second, and it ends up shooting more like that. We need to curve it a little bit to straighten things back out. But, so, the impeller, or whatever you'd call it, the sandwich discs, got openings like so, and the middle two discs had a slightly smaller opening. Doesn't really matter that much. It's not exactly perfectly straight, but it'll be fine. Also, in this first prototype, there's no bearings. I think I'd add bearings in a finished one. So, actually, water would lubricate to some degree. So, essentially, that's the operation would look like. Then the top kind of just goes right onto it, like so. Just screw it together quick. Like I said, I'm going to kind of narrow this a bit and add a curve so I can put more screws lower down. One of the issues with these screws, of course, is while they're brass looking, they're not really brass, so they do rust. But for my testing purposes, they're fine. I'm not sure I could get stainless steel ones this small. So at this point, I tested with two different things. Oh, that one doesn't really catch anything. I'll do that better too. Tested it with my drill, which didn't spin fast enough to achieve anything. Then I went back and I tested it with my Dremel, actually in a pool. So here we'll just cut and take a look at that footage real quick. Alright, this is actually my second test of my aquatic thrust system. It's more of a proof of concept. Obviously there's some electrocution risk here, but my cordless drill didn't have enough speed to effectively test this. So it looks like my Tesla-based pump could work quite well at higher RPMs. It's actually slipping on the... It's enough of a test though. Proof of concept. Like that. So now, I have to find a better way to secure this. And obviously a DC powered solution that I can run on battery. Alright, so that kind of worked pretty good. So the proof of concept, anyway, worked. So now, since it's going to be driving itself this way, we want to take the water in from the front. So I made a piece to kind of break the flow up, like so. Then a guide to go on top, and a guide to go on the bottom. Guide the water so it's pulled in from the front. So I'll just screw that together now. Well, actually, I'll do 1/2 first, separate. Maybe that'll make it easier. So yeah, I designed this basically by doing the layers, individual layers, and extruding them. Did the layers in CorelDRAW, exported them to SVG, and extruded them and assembled them in OpenSCAD. Alright, so we got that. So that's where the water will come in, that's where it'll shoot out. And of course we don't want it sucking dirt and small animals. So I got a little grate to go in there. And that is the prototype of my aquatic thrust system. I think I'm actually going to need a longer shaft than that. My intent is to drive it with this motor from an old weed whacker. I'm going to try and couple it basically using 3D printed, oh come on now, it's just down there. Basically it's kind of a gear pattern on the bottom. So that'll go there. A couple on here. Around the thrust system. So that was my first attempt, my prototype for a Tesla-based pump thrust system for a small aquatic craft. Once I get the next section or next piece done on here, where I'm either working out the motor piece or redoing this part, I'll make another video, maybe do another sample, and see. This is kind of smaller than my original intended drive system was. It's more of a proof of concept, but I think maybe it'll be enough to push my kayak. We'll see.